What is up, everybody, and welcome into the RPG podcast show here. We're going to talk about Christian McCaffrey today, running back for the San Francisco 49ers. And as always, we're going to start the show off with going over to Dynasty Data Lab to see where he is currently going in sleeper startups. Well, looking at the board here, we can see that he is going RB55 or pick 55, apologies, RB15, right behind Josh Jacobs and right in front of Chase Brown. All right, that gives you a pretty good range. You can see the fifth round is pretty heavy with running backs. That fourth and fifth round, we're talking 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 running backs in that fourth and fifth round. So if you're doing a startup, most likely that is where you are taking your RB1, or if you're going RB heavy, you're taking your RB2 in that range, and you're figuring the other positions out as they come. All right. Totally understand skepticism on Christian McCaffrey, but I am more than happy to buy Christian McCaffrey. Look, last season, it really was a rough one for anybody that owned him. And you may be jaded. You may be frustrated. You may say, hey, he is not for me. I have no interest in having him on my dynasty teams moving forward. You can't get the King's ransom that you used to be able to, mainly because we saw the injuries. We see the age going into his age 29 season. You see the production right here on the screen, 25th in points per game. That's tough from all metrics. All right, you're looking at him saying, okay, he had 19 targets in those 4 games. Didn't really play fully in those 4 games either. So that is encouraging. We love Shanahan offenses. We love the running backs in that offense. I mean, heck, there was times where Jordan Mason was absolutely lighting the world up. And people were asking for 25 first for him. If you got that, fantastic. Great on you for being able to capitalize on somebody being desperate for a running back, being desperate to be able to move off of Jordan Mason to be able to get that future pick. But we're here to talk about Christian McCaffrey. He was the RB1 and RB2 overall. 2 previous seasons. All right. You leave out 2024, injury mired season, bunch of questionable things that went on. Nobody really knew about the injury until all of a sudden everybody knew about the injury. Then there was the question of management versus surgery versus moving on and just kind of trading him away, which I never really bought into. I don't think many people did, but that was one of the rumors that was floated out there. So, all that being said, I think Christian McCaffrey is still a buy and is somebody that you want to go after for the 2025 season because he can provide value. And when we're going to PFF here, we're going to look at the offensive line and who he's going to be running behind. All right, you have Dominic, Big Dom over here, absolutely mauling people. All right. Out of Kansas, he was a road grader. We knew what he was going to be. He's physical at the point of attack, moves defenders off the ball on the inside, opens up those running lanes in between the guard and the tackle and guard and center, A, B gaps, all of that. He is fantastic at opening up paths for Christian McCaffrey to get skinny through and be able to explode upfield away from the linebackers. McKivitz, you have him outside on tackle. He's a solid run blocker. He's not going to light the world on fire, but he can handle his own. Then you have Brendel over there at center, trying to man the middle of the line next to Pooney, next to Dom. He holds his own very well. I would say he is a plus run blocker when it comes to NFL standards. And then you move over to the left tackle situation with Trent Williams. Hopefully he stays healthy for the entire season. Obviously, he is getting up there in age, which as soon as that happens, you start to be a little concerned. But we've seen what Hall of Fame tackles do in the league. They stick around for a long time. They are very highly productive. They are cornerstones of their teams. And Trent Williams is just that. He is a cornerstone of this offensive line. Then you have the magical piece of a good run blocking tight end. When you have George Kittle in line, he acts as another offensive lineman, just a much better movement skill offensive lineman, which gives him the ability to be a chess piece, to be able to kick out when he's in line, be able to block down when he's split off the line, be able to chip and hold blocks even if he needs to against larger defensive ends, larger edge rushers, trying to get into the backfield. Now, the question is the other guard slot. I really thought San Francisco was going to try and address that slot in the draft. They foregoed it. They said, hey, we need to shore up this defense. Defense used to be our calling card, so let's try and get our offense the ball in better position. Let's try and give up less points to put less pressure on our offense. So that's exactly what they did. They addressed the defense in the draft. But with that said, they didn't do much at guard, all right? That's going to be a position that we should be watching as training camp rolls around, figuring out who is going to be there, how are they looking? Are they looking like they can hold their own and not be a liability to Christian McCaffrey? I don't know. Whoever's there, I trust Shanahan to make it work. I love the fact that George Kittle is there as an extra, essentially offensive lineman, as a tackle. And then we move over to fantasy calc here. And where is Christian McCaffrey currently going? How much do you have to trade for Christian McCaffrey? Oh, if you haven't had your rookie draft yet, 107, 108, somewhere in that range is what you're looking at to be able to trade Christian McCaffrey for. I would happily trade the 108. 107, I've seen Henderson fall there a couple times. So that would be more of a on the clock if Henderson isn't there, because I would personally rather have Christian McCaffrey over Judkins, who is that next running back above him. I would rather have him over James Cook, Kenneth Walker pretty easily. Josh Jacobs, I think you can make the argument based off of Jacobs' workload. Go watch our other video on 2025 Dynasty Outlook for Josh Jacobs. Fantastic video. I've been loving doing these, so hopefully y'all have been loving watching them too. But back to Christian McCaffrey. His calling card is receiving. From a dynasty standpoint, from a longevity standpoint, receptions play. Alvin Kamara stuck around with low yards per carry, rather low volume, sitting in that low 200 range because he's able to get 80, 90 targets. And that should be within the realm of possibilities for Christian McCaffrey this coming season because Brandon Ayuk is still hurt, probably missing half of the season. Deebo Samuel was traded away. Juwan Jennings is going to be on the outside. Ricky Pearsall's going to be in the wide receiver room. Those guys are not striking fear into the hearts of defensive coordinators. And when they're not striking fear into the hearts of defensive coordinators, what do you have? You have a coach that needs to figure out how to get the ball in his best players' hands, which the best skill position players that the 49ers have are their tight end and running back in George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey. All right. So look for Christian McCaffrey to maybe not be the running back that he was 2 years ago or 3 years ago, but look for him to improve on his 12 points per game, which was pretty abysmal last season. And I would very much expect Christian McCaffrey to jump back up into RB1 production territory with a 17 to 17 and a half points per game season. All right. That's where I'm projecting him. That would put him in a low end RB1 situation based off of last year's production, somewhere right in the middle of Jonathan Taylor at 17.5 and Kyron Williams at 17. I think that is a reasonable assessment on where this offense could be, where this team could be, and where Christian McCaffrey could be. Now, there still is that injury risk. You may not get a full season out of him, but much like Alvin Kamara, if you're getting 14 games of high production, you can figure it out those other games. Yeah, it's going to suck if you get to playoffs and you don't have him. Totally understand. Hopefully your league doesn't have a trade deadline and you can move him then for a depreciated cost. Sure. But you would have gotten to playoffs. He would have been on your team. You would have been receiving those points all season, being able to be competitive. And then hopefully you would be able to get off of him for something valuable for the playoff run. Obviously, we want to see him healthy. He is a dynamic athlete, and he is a ton of fun to be able to watch. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying watching these 2025 breakdowns and what these dynasty players and dynasty running backs, which is the section that we're in right now, could be for the future and for 2025. But we appreciate your time. Thanks for listening. Please subscribe. Please give us a like on the video. Really appreciate the time that you guys are investing. We see the amount of views that we've been getting, and it's been going up. So we just want to say thank you to everybody. We couldn't be here without you guys watching these videos, and we're very grateful. All right. Have a good night.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Fantasy Football RPG Podcast. If you made it this far, be sure to like and subscribe. If you want to check out written content, head over to lastwordonsports.com.
Don't let the Goblins get you.